that outstanding play to take a hit away from Ben Rivera. Came over from the Chicago Cubs in a trade. He came over along with Gary Scott, the Villanovan, for Greg Hibbard.
Florida made 4 trades on expansion draft day, the one that Harry just mentioned, and another one, of course, involved the Phillies with Danny Jackson. A third is for the guy who is on deck, Walt Weiss.
1 ball and no strikes to Arias.
There's Weiss, who had a terrific career with the Oakland Athletics, interrupted several times by some serious injuries.
He's a good hitter, but he's such an adept 8-hole hitter that they keep him in that spot, even though he's hitting a lot better than a lot of the hitters earlier in the lineup. Here's Arias's catch.
What a great play this was. I mean, as Harry said, that's a base hit off the bat, and you saw where Duncan was as that ball was just coming over Arias's head. Duncan was already at second, and if it had kicked away at all, he would have been able to score on the play.
Two balls and 1 strike to Arias.
We saw Arias last year in the Cubs uniform when they were playing so many different players at shortstop, with Dunston out so much with injuries. And Arias looked like a pretty good player, but they like Sanchez better. And Sanchez has done a good job for the Cubs this year.
Yeah, there aren't too many shortstops with the ability of Ray Sanchez. He's a good one. A lot of good shortstops in the league, of course, when you talk about Ozzie and you talk about Barry Larkin. Sanchez is a fine-looking young shortstop. Two balls and 2 strikes to Arias. Base hit to right field. Conine takes the turn, and he's heading for third, and he's going to be out by 10 feet. I don't know what Conine was thinking going first to third. That ball got to Eisenreich in a hurry, and he's thrown out easily at third base for out number 2.
Well, Florida's playing like an expansion team fundamentally tonight. The bad play by Estrada early. And as Harry said, I mean, this guy's a shooting duck. A dead duck, I mean, look how much he's out by. Fine throw by Eisenreich, but he could have thrown about a 3-hopper and gotten him.
2 outs, runner at first base, and the batter is Walt Weiss. He's hitting at .309.
2 down. Here's Alex Arias, and he takes a ball. That big wall in left field, you notice the clock in the middle. That's the highest part of the wall. It's 30 feet high there, and it gets as low as 23 feet high in other locations. So to get a home run over that wall, it kind of depends on where you hit it.
Well, you keep calling it the big wall.
That's what it is to me.
Okay.
I'm very basic on these things. Base hit for Arias. Hit number 3 for the Marlins. 2-out single here in the 4th inning.
One of the things I was talking about is Butch Henry's arm speed. If you slow your arm down, a hitter can realize what's coming. That's an off-speed pitch. But this was a fastball that didn't get in where he wanted it. And Arias was able to fight it off and line it to right field. He wanted that fastball in more towards the inside corner.
Okay, Neil Hartman, thank you very much. Alex Arias, a second baseman for the Marlins, leads it off. The 7-hole hitter, followed by Walt Weiss. Maybe a pinch hitter for Charlie Huff. 5-0 Phillies in the 4th, as Rivera's had a lot of control problem tonight. He's walked 5, struck out nobody, and given up 3 hits, but some great defense by the Phillies and bad base running by the Marlins have kept their ball club from scoring. Ground ball to third. Nice play, Hollins.
Whoa.
Can't get him. Good play by Dave Hollins. The throw is wide, and that'll be a base hit for Arias, his second hit of the game, and hit number 4 for Florida.
Dave, an off-balance throw. Great stop. Kind of letting it fly. Might have had him with an accurate throw. Well, maybe not.
Sometimes they'll use the AstroTurf if you can, when you're playing on turf, and get a true bounce over there, not so on grass and dirt. Alex Arias, the batter, 2 for 2 with a single to right and an infield hit. These guys have left 8 on through 4. and now have 2 on in this inning with 2 outs. Kruk is holding Conine on at first base with a right-handed hitter, Arias, up. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike on Alex Arias from the New York City area, formerly the property of the Chicago Cubs.
He looked like a pretty good ball player with the Cubs.
You know what it was? I think they just liked Sanchez a little better, so they didn't protect Arias, and he was drafted by, or actually they got him in a trade for Greg Hibbert, who is now in the Cubs starting rotation.
Arias did something that I've never heard of anybody doing in the major leagues. 5 hits in a game off the Pirates, all against a different pitcher.
That's right. I remember watching that game last year. It was an early game like Labor Day or July 4th or something like that, and the starter of that game was Wakefield. There's a fan with a souvenir. Two balls and 2 strikes on Arias. 5 hits off 5 pitches. Good play by Dalton, and he's really been testing a lot of balls in the dirt. So the count full at 3-2. Kruk now tells Rivera he will play off the runner Conine at first, who will be off on the pitch. There you saw Kruk. Hard ground ball, and there's a base hit. So the Marlins finally make the Phillies pay, and they're on the board at 7-1 on an RBI hit by Alex Arias. Stopping at second base is Conine.
That'll be an unearned run because of the error. Arias 3 for 3 now. He really got the barrel of the bat on a, looked like a pretty good fastball inside part of the plate.
Ben Rivera cues one into shallow center. It's gonna, oh, what a catch. What a catch by Alex Arias. Took a hit away from Rivera. And Duncan might have even scored had he not hung on to that ball. There's a great catch by Arias. Wow, that'll retire the side. Bills get 2 in the inning. They do it with 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Phils.
Notes waiting for you when you come in.
Oh, yeah. I know why you guys didn't do these. You can't read them.
Here's Alex Arias will lead it off, followed by Brett Barbary, and then Orestes Destrade here in the 4th inning. 2-0 Phils lead it. Ben Rivera gets a curveball over first strike.
Mike Contudis in Northeast Philly, recuperating just out of the hospital.
Rivera tonight with 3 strikeouts through 3 innings. Arias playing tonight. Magadan is injured. That's a bad elbow. So they have Arias playing at third base for him. Alex Arias, formerly with the Chicago Cubs, had a 5-hit ball game last year for Cubs.
He looked like a pretty good ball player over there. I think the Marlins really made some good selections in their expansion draft.
That's a fair ball. See what happens. Eisenreich gets on it quickly, and Arias will stay at first with a long single. Got a good bounce off the box seats down there right to Eisenreich.
Well, there's an art to playing those ricochets off the lower box seats. First thing you have to do is make up your mind that it's going to hit the lower box seats. If you miss on that one, sometimes you wind up chasing that ball in the corner, but that had the facing of those seats by plenty, and Eisenreich played it perfectly.
And Brett Barbary, the batter.
The Phillies with a 6-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Alex Arias leads it off. He's 3 for 3. He has half of the Marlin hits. Wayne Huizinga, the owner of the Florida Marlins. Surrounding himself with key people here.
Pretty key.
1 ball and 1 strike. One and one the count to Arias. Ayrault gets ahead of him 1-2. Ayrault is in his second inning. He struggled in his first inning, gave up an infield single and walked 3. Forcing in a run. Ben Rivera in the 5 innings he worked had 7 walks. Only 1 strikeout. Marlins have had runners on base in every inning, at least 2 of them. And it's a full count.
Andy Miller here from Elkins Park. Want to say hi to his folks back home.
Another hit for Arias. He's 4 for 4. So the Marlins have 7 hits, and that fella Arias has 4 of them.
Not bad for a guy hitting .230 when the game started. And he's hit the ball hard all 4 times. Hit it sharply. He's knocked in a run. Another run scored on a bases loaded walk.
Bills with a win will have a 9.5 game lead over St. Louis, 10 over Montreal. One strike to Arias, who's 1 out of 3 with a sac fly and a run batted in. Tigers lost tonight 6-3, but that Cecil Fielder hit 2 more home runs. He's been on a tear.
17 now?
Yep. Poked into center, and that'll drop for a hit. Dykstra takes it on 1 hop. So Arias is a 2-out base runner, and that'll bring up Brett Barbary. Barbary has struck out, grounded out, singled, and lived on an error.
Alex Arias up there takes outside for a ball. He popped out his first time up. Arias, Weiss, and Armstrong due to face Tommy Green, bottom of the 5th. Phils with a 2-0 lead. 1-1 the count. Arias was 4 for 4 last night, and he was the guy that David West hit. Caused a little problem late in the game. Just missed with his curve.
That's 42 pitches now for Tommy Green, Whitey. 30 strikes and 12 balls. That is outstanding when you consider you're in the 5th inning.
Ball 2 and a strike on Arias. Just a little low. Green hasn't walked anybody, really hasn't come close until this batter. Full count. Green's only given up 2 hits, both singles. Ooh. Well, he got jammed. Will they get him? Nope. Arias with an infield single. Green had the best shot at catching that.
Yeah, except his follow-through had taken him too much to the first base side. Talk about jamming a guy. Look at this. Bat splinters. And look where Tommy Green is. See, his follow-through takes him over to first base side. He can't get there. Even if Duncan fields this ball, he's not going to get Arias.
Shortstop Walt Weiss, the batter.
Arias playing at third base, formerly with the Cubs. Arias a .276 hitter with a homer and 12 runs batted in. And Mulholland missed his low. On deck is Walt Weiss, a switch hitter.
You know, I had a chance to talk to Renee Latchman while we were playing this old-timers game, and I said, Renee, I said, you guys are playing pretty good, surprising a lot of people. He says, Jay, he says, these guys really don't know how well they can play. They're going out, they're having fun. I'm trying to keep a loose ball club. He said, of course, the key to our success, obviously, is Harvey in the bullpen. He said, and they know that if they can get a lead to the 8th inning, we got a heck of a chance of winning this ball game. So these guys are going out, trying to get some runs, you know, by scratching, kicking, fighting, bunting, getting on any way they can, hoping they can get to that 8th inning because they have a great deal of confidence in Brian Harvey, and obviously it's turned out very well for him.
Latchman's always writing something down during a game. Line drive left center field. This is trouble. Thompson gets to it and cuts it off. He'll throw back to second. Good play, Milt Thompson. Keeps Arias at first base. Moving over to third is Santiago. There's an example of knowing what base to throw to.
You're so correct, because what has happened is with that play by Thompson, the Phillies now have still kept the double play in order. So if Mulholland can get a ground ball to one of his infielders, they got a great chance of maybe turning the double play. And they can play a little bit in on Weiss, shorten up. He's not going to power the ball by the infielder. So that's why you want to keep the double play in order. And Thompson did exactly that, getting the ball quickly back to his
veteran, though, who has the ability to go out there and get the job done, regardless of whether or not he has his best stuff.
Quick move, and he almost got Felix. And it's starting to rain a little harder now. Not a real heavy rain, but the hardest it's rained so far tonight.
Now, how many innings is it before it's final? Before it's an official game?
That's not what it was. Well, in this case, it would be 4.5.
Okay.
Lewis is due to bat 4th in this inning, and they're going to get like Corsi up. Strike call. Lewis has done a good job since he came into the game. There you see the trade for Alex Arias coming over here. He was not in the expansion draft. Danny Jackson was another guy that they selected and then traded. As was Hibbert. Cubs are just so well stocked at shortstop they could afford to give up an Arias. Junior Felix, a leadoff base runner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Arias, with Walt Weiss waiting on deck. Down the line, fair or foul? It is just foul. It would have been a ground rule double.
Well, I think last night's ball game for the Phillies was a very important ball game. I mean, not do or die by any means, but it was good for them after having lost 3 in a row. I mean, St. Louis, there's the how close that ball came to being fair. Pretty close, but still foul. You know, they lost 3 games in a row right off, and St. Louis had won 3, so it gotten down to 8.5. And then the Marlins, I mean, the next night, after winning the first game, comes out and takes an early lead. I thought it was very critical for the Phillies to battle back and take that game.
They did last night. They had a big inning and scored, what was it, 5 runs in 1 inning.
They batted around.
5 runs in the 5th, batted around. Right tonight, they batted around, scored 4 runs in a bat around. Really did Florida with a couple of innings. Good piece of hitting by Arias. And Felix takes a big turn at second and will hold there. So Mulholland is not sharp at this point, and the Marlins are putting the ball in play, and they have 2 hits in this inning, and they have 6 overall.
See, I think with Terry, you know, maybe not getting the oomph on the pitch, but I think it's primarily having trouble with his location. He's on a lot of bad pitches right there.
Arias showed he was trying to go the other way, too, with 2 strikes, and did it.
Well, Mulholland, what he dictates where you hit the ball normally. He'll dictate that, but he's throwing it right down the middle, and the hitters are hitting it all over the place.
Now, they hadn't hit many home runs in this ballpark early in the year, but lately they're starting to fly out here. The Florida Marlins are last in the league in homers. They don't hit a whole lot of them, but you wouldn't know it this afternoon.
67 home runs for the Marlins, including the 3 they have tonight. 2 balls and 1 strike on Arias, who had a game earlier this year where he was on base 5 straight times against the Phillies, 4 hits, and he was hit by a pitch back on May 17th in this ballpark. Liner down the right field line, foul out of play. Arias had a game at Pittsburgh in September of last year when he went 5 for 5 off 5 different pitchers. That's not easy to do.
Happy 67th wedding anniversary today to Roy and Bertha Bixler of Minersville, Pennsylvania, and happy birthday number 66 to Jim Ullman.
Did he swing? No, he did not. Appeal made to Hirschbeck at first. No swing. I believe they're announcing this is the first 3 home run game for the Marlins, because I heard him say they've had 2 home runs in the game 11 times. That pitch was up a little bit, and Arias liked it and fouls it back. 2-2.
Yeah, well, when you only have 67 home runs at this point of the season, you know, you're not going to have a whole lot of 3-4 home run games, but they are jumping all over Terry Mulholland tonight.
It's amazing how many of them have gone out over that left field scoreboard tonight. You expect to see balls hit off that scoreboard, and we saw 1, but we've seen 3 sail over it.
Well, it's a bandbox to left field here. There's no doubt about it. It's a true ballpark to center and to right and right center. Left field, if you can get one in the air, you can get a lot of cheap home runs here. And not that these are that cheap, because they've hit them pretty well, but in a lot of other ballparks, some of them are going to be hitting the wall.
Arias takes it in the dirt. That runs the count full. It's 3-2 on Alex Arias, filling in tonight for Walt Weiss.
Another birthday tonight to Carmel Silvestio from South Philadelphia.
The 3-2 pitch coming. On the ground, foul ball. Well, one thing tonight, we've seen so many bases on balls in this series. Tonight, Huff has walked 2, but Mulholland has walked nobody.
Well, he's been too true tonight as Terry Mulholland. Normally he doesn't walk people, but he uses the corners real well. Tonight he's in the middle of the plate and up.
Phillies still a little strapped in the bullpen. They'd like to see Terry be able to go a ways. Here's a base hit. And believe it or not, that is only the second single of the ball game, and the only other single was a bunt.
Talk about in the middle of the plate and up. That's where that was.
The Marlins have their 8th hit. They have twice as many hits as the Phillies. They lead it 6-4 as their pitcher Charlie Huff comes up, and he'll be up there to bunt. He's sacrificed 4 times.
All year long, he's had a total of 5 extra base hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 1 home run. That's a 257 times at bat. He's a big, strong guy. You'd think he'd hit with much more power.
Well, I think one of the reasons, Harry, is the fact that he still is only 1 year removed from all of the back problems, and he's still pretty much mending. Perhaps next year coming back, he will be a lot stronger, and maybe with that, the bat will be quicker, and he will get the extra base hits.
There's a line drive in the center field, and there's Arias again. Boy, oh boy, is he hitting the ball. A line single to center. And that brings up Mike Morgan.